Well, there's nothing more American than Brian's JT Gladiator. These Gladiators are becoming more and more relevant in the market, and Brian's Gladiator is a perfect example of why you should use it as your daily driver commuter, and he's basically our crash test dummy for our parts. But anyway, everybody should own a Gladiator, and I want to show you the underneath of this thing and prove to you why they just keep on going. I mean, these things are turning into Toyotas as far as longevity and, you know, how they can hold up. So let's take a quick walk underneath Brian's Gladiator and check it out. So first off, he has 10,198 miles on it, and about 7,198 miles of those are on the trail going 100 miles. So put that together. That means it went 100 miles, but he had a little wheel spin, if you know what I mean, running up the odometer. I don't know if you've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Put it in reverse, get it off of there. But anyway, take a look at this. He's on a 3.5-inch lift. He's actually a metal cloak lift on this thing. Got a full-size 37-inch spare tucked underneath here. The first thing to look at is, yes, this is our WFO bumper. Rigid backup lights, mostly 1/4-inch steel. Check this thing out. The entire bumper, all underneath, has been hitting everything because he drives, you know, like he shouldn't. But it's fully intact, all good, not beating the bumper besides scratching it. So you start just working your way back, and first off, you see self-clearanced resonator right there. This thing still has the factory axles in it with 513 gears, and they have been holding up just fine. He has the history of one broken axle shaft. He says it wasn't his fault, but other than that, it's been holding up. So as you come underneath here, you start to see the kind of damage and, you know, where that mileage came from. So all of the control arms totally scratched. The link mounts on the frames starting to fold over, but still completely intact. Take a look at the pinion right here. Just rock scratch, grinding underneath the diff. Driveline, I mean, these factory JT drivelines are taking the abuse like I've never seen. I think all the ribs in the driveline tube is actually better than an aftermarket driveline, because he just sits on this driveline and, you know, grinds up powder, right? Take a look at this skid plate here. These are the steel metal cloak skid plates, and I'll tell you what, we keep on putting metal cloak skids on because this is the kind of stuff that can happen. He has literally been folding this vehicle over the boulders, and the skid plates are perfectly intact with a few scratches. I mean, link mount about to come off. Here's the muffler. The muffler is completely clearanced to the bottom of the frame as well. Start moving your way forward. This is, just so you know, this is the second driveline, but all those trail miles and only one driveline, it didn't ruin the driveline. All it did was land on the carrier, fold the metal for the carrier bearing. So as you get up to the front here, still the metal cloak skid plates doing their job. We've had to weld these front control arm mounts back onto the frame a couple times. They never fully ripped off. We just kind of gusseted them and welded them. Front link mounts, same thing, folding underneath, lots of rock scratch, but everything's still kind of holding up. So this leads us to the front of the vehicle and why it's here. So this is his ring and pinion, and this is not good. So that's a broken ring and pinion. Took one spot, just ground it clean, right? So people say, hey, Gladiator axles are not going to be strong enough to run 37s and run the Rubicon every weekend. Well, guess what? This is not the axle's fault. He was doing recovery. He is the, I think he might be the vice president of a company called 1-800-TOW-YOU-OUT that isn't really a company and never tows anybody out. Or if they do it all expense. But anyway, he was recovering a vehicle on the Rubicon, and we were winching and pulling the vehicle, and the winch came to his end, and he goes, oh, I'll just put it in reverse and just pull it back in reverse 6 feet. 100% no-no. Never pull somebody backing out. It's the weak side of the gears. These are high pinion gears in the front, so when you put it in reverse and you go to back up, all the way to the vehicle you're towing, right on the ring and pinion, and all it takes is half a rotation, and there goes the teeth. And that's not the fault of the axle, that's the fault of the driver. So we went ahead and, you know, put some gears back in there, reused the gear oil, pre-owned, you know. We didn't do that. But anyway, Gears are back together. Otherwise, you can see this is our HD tie rod, 2-inch quarter wall, and he has literally been bashing on this thing, landing on it, you know, enjoying life. I mean, even the Rage 4th front bumper here, crushing down on the skid plate. It's here for a reason, to protect the sway bar. Sway bar is still working. We had to reattach his light bar. So basically, Brian has been using this Jeep to its potential. He's been breaking the internet with views on his special driving style that he has. It's definitely unique, we'll say that. And he has the Evo skids on this thing, and he has used these to the fullest as well, but probably the most scrapes, the most under, you know, crushing on any JT out there with 37-inch tires and less, just over 10,000 miles. So hope you enjoyed this, but quick ring of Pinion, and if you see Brian on the trail, tell him to hit every bonus line there is, and he will. Not a problem. See ya.